Boys, what is up? It's time once again for me to farm the Subathon. The 1 month of my life I spent live on twitch.tv for our final video about it. Actual, no capsule, to review everything, all the money, all the final tallies. Basically, this is the final video about the Subathon. We got to cross the T's, dot the I's on how it all went. All the numbers, all the stats, how much money I made, all that stuff that I was keeping up with while I was going. Like, I streamed 10 days of my life. This is how much I made. But at the end of it. And this is kind of cool because for this specific one, Bad Dog made a PowerPoint presentation that we're going to read through, and I'm going to present it. So this is kind of funny because it's kind of like what my life was like when I was in school, where I did absolutely none of the work in making this slide, but I will do all the work in presenting it with my public speaking skills. So let's take a look at it, boys. The Subathon in numbers. A recap of the record-breaking Subathon. It is true, the Subathon was record-breaking. We broke records. And I hear a lot of rumors of XQC saying that he could get more subs if he did it. He might do a Subathon. Aiden Ross says it'd be a wash if he streamed as many hours as I did. And I have to say, they make a lot of good points, but they're smoking reef, okay? There is one man on this platform who can do what I did, and it's me. And the only other person that could do it would be me from the future who got a time machine to come back in time and stream a year before I started streaming. That's about it. I don't want to say goated, but kind of did the impossible, knocked it out of the park. And XQC, if you guys are listening, it's not worth it, bro. I would do like a weekathon. You know what I mean? Here's the thing about subs. I got them. It doesn't give you happiness. I would try something else. Records don't get you happiness, so we should just leave this record for eternity. Anyway, let us commence. Introduction. Ludwig, read. Cringe. All right, step one is why did we waste our time crunching numbers? So step one is these people saying, hey, let's talk about us. Why did we do this? Let's talk about us. To which I say, can we talk about Ludwig a little more? Like, I feel like we've had a lot of you time, Bad Dog. Where's the me time? But okay, I digress. No one can really say, but all of us enjoy stats, yada, yada. You collected data. At the end of the day, it was fascinating. Look, you did it to farm fucking Reddit points. Let's keep it a stack. You posted this on Reddit. It had a bunch of attention. Having attention to things feels good. You got notoriety, so you wanted to keep it going. You did it for internet points. And you got those internet points, to which I have to say, updoot. Updoot to you. Percent per category. We took around 9,000 data points and marked the category and where you were during each time. Here's our results. So I actually love this pie chart because I think it's really cool because it shows everything I did during the Subathon, which, funny enough, I spent a third of it sleeping, which makes sense because that's what you do in life is you spend a third of it sleeping. I talked to Carl Jacobs yesterday at the Uno event that I did with 100 Thieves. If you don't know, there's basically a huge Uno event with Cash App and 100 Thieves. They invited 20 influencers, and I talked to Carl. By the way, who, let me tell you, walked in like the Fonz. Carl walks in, people flocked. I walked in, nobody lifted their head up. And if I really forced and if I walked up, I'd be like, hey, Brooke and Ray. They'd look up and they'd be like, congrats on the Subathon. And I'd be like, thanks. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in this life. Honestly, I feel like a hero, maybe above a nurse, not to toot my own horn. Appreciate that. 5 seconds into it, they'd leave to go talk to Carl. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I feel like I was killing the game, making great conversation. Fuck you, Carl. All right? For being so lovable for all these motherfuckers. I want that. Anyway, moving on. That's all to say. I brought up Carl. Carl sleeps maybe 5 hours a day, is what I realized. He sleeps maybe 5-6 hours a day. I was sleeping 7.5. I sleep good. I sleep good in the esports neighborhood. Think about it like this. Twitch is like any other company. And in companies, you have to work your way to the top. And oftentimes you think, well, if you got to work your way to the top, don't you have to do that by rise and grind, all about the hustle? Mark Wahlberg awake at 2:30 a.m. to get your morning run in, your morning pump. Then you can go bike to work. You know what I mean? I did that shit sleeping 7.5 hours. Probably because I was getting more viewers sleeping than I was just chatting. So it was really good. It was really nice and easy on the mental. And that's why it was the biggest chunk of what I've done. The second biggest was just chatting, which makes sense because just chatting, I think, is also React Andy. It's not movie night. That's different, even though that also is kind of same. But it's like, you know, when I would watch random Daily Dose videos or virtual videos or that video on Ireland, you know, all those things were just chatting. Third category was slime takeover, which makes sense because I made him take over for 2 days, which is about 6%. Next biggest category is, I believe, if I'm looking at this right, Valorant, which is crazy. Movie night was 5.8%, which means probably 1.5 hours a night, which actually is, I think, the perfect amount of time. Then Valorant, then gone, which is funny, which means I was gone about 1 hour a day. Do you think that's too many? Too many minutes to be gone? Just be pee-pee poofed for an hour 12? Like, if you live stream 24 hours of your life, obviously you got to be gone for shit, right? Like, you're not going to shower in front of stream. You're not going to shit in front of stream. You're not going to piss in front of stream. You know, your morning routine, think of that stuff. How much time in a day do you think you need private if you lived your life in a glass box? I think about an hour is pretty, like, chill. I think it's like kind of the low end. And the rest is a little irrelevant. What's funny is so many people I feel like came and were like, man, every time I'm here, you're at the gym. But if you actually calculate it, I was at the gym on average less than like an hour a day. It probably always lined up with when people ended school and shit. Yeah. School or work or whatever. The two things I'll tell you right now that I'll miss from the subathon. One, I'll miss workout streams, even though my roommates, I think, hated it. But I liked it only because, and this is just straight up the only reason, it allowed me to work out with Aiden and Slime consistently. I don't really get to work out with Aiden much. And the subathon let me work out with Aiden. That's one of the things I liked and I'll miss a lot. The other thing was cooking. I mean, I still do those things, but like the fact that I could just go upstairs and cook on stream. Okay, I think it's good. I think it's good. And then do the dishes, and no one in my chat gave a shit because they all cared more about a clock was great. If I did it now, it'd be kind of resident sleeper. I mean, no one gives a shit about me fucking chef currying up some eggs and doing the dishwasher. I still can do it. It's just not, it wouldn't be smart for the stream anymore. I can already sense I've changed. Like dead ass, I cooked for myself today. I did. I cooked for myself, Cutie, and Aiden, but I didn't clean it up. And that's the difference. Like the fridge. The fridge is the best example. You think I would spend an hour and a half of my day fighting against a refrigerator ice machine? Is it in up motion? No! I only did that because I was on stream and I was like, fuck it. I don't care about these motherfuckers anyway. I'll do whatever I goddamn want. They're only looking at a clock. I did not lose to a fridge. I won that fight on my own with all of Cutie's help. Earnings per category. So this is fun. We decided to average your earnings per hour per category. Time is how long you stream this category. Keep in mind, we multiplied your earnings per 5 to an average per hour. Makes it more accurate. Anyway, it's basically averaging up how many subs came per segment, which makes sense that the highest would be just chatting because honestly, that is all of the matching. That was all the power hours. And then sleeping because that's when, at least the first week, it was jacked up, remember? And then everything else seems about average. Turns out Munga's was high in Magic the Gathering. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Time left. We hit a peak at 72 hours left on the sub clock with 4 days streaming, then watched The Truman Show, which caused chat to be more sympathetic with Free Ludwig flooding the chat from then on out. After the 400-hour mark, it seemed to flatline as it was below 30 minutes for the rest of the stream. It was as if chat was teasing Ludwig. Sure, it is a chart. That's fun. Kind of looks like my portfolio too, after I dumped it all on Dogecoin. After 400 hours, things are a bit different. We didn't want the subathon to end, but couldn't gain the momentum to reach high numbers. Ludwig held a few power hours for 10 minutes that resulted in the clock skyrocketing, and then it was sub 30 until the end. The mods talked about adding the cap, how adding the cap might have made the stream last longer. Adding the cap set a definite goal for the most insane outcome for the event. Gave chat something to work towards. Without the cap, the subathon could have ended so much sooner. I think even without I think the cap was a result of the record, not the other way around. The cap, 30 days, getting to that, sure. But I also said that the way I said it day 2, when I made it 10 seconds, I said that day 2 is that if we got 9,000 subs a day, we would beat Ninja's record. And the cap just followed because I was like, well, if I beat this record, then there's no point in me keep going. I'm going to end. Ludwig beat Ninja? Chat was able to push hard and get Ludwig to beat the #1 all-time most sub streamer on Twitch, which is when we beat Ninja. That is a infallible record. Literally indomitable. Can't think of one streamer on this platform who could possibly beat this, even if they were to stream 732 hours. Literally all the streamers are tiny little baby boys. Oh, whoops, sorry. I just had to keep that up on my second monitor. Just love his stream so much. But anyway, no one can. No one's got the views or the clout. Everyone's favorite part is finding out how much Ludwig earned during this subathon. The number we have is for sure under what he actually made, mostly because of Twitch partner deal. Media share is also a challenge, but Ludwig told us, so it's accurate. We are sure that this is how much money chat spent on stream. That number is, let's take a look, coming up in a moment. But boys on YouTube, do me a favor. Can you guys click the subscribe button? It'll take you just a moment. All you got to do is scroll down, see if it says subscribe free. It'll take you 5 seconds of your life. I'd really appreciate it. Turns out that 35% of the people that watch my videos aren't even sub, which is cringe. It's insane. It's so high. If you watch, why not even sub? It helps me out a lot. I'd appreciate it. Now let's take a look. They have put a lot of work into calculating this number, by the way. They have put a lot of work. How much money was spent by chat? $1.434 million is the final estimate. So this is including like Twitch's cut and all that good stuff. That is how much chat spent overall. How much Ludwig paid his mods. A lot of people were curious on this, and I paid each mod 8 to 10,000. It costs 166,000, but then this number says 177. Did I pay? There's no shot I paid you fucks. Did I pay you guys? Why would I pay you? I didn't pay you shit. You did, smiley face. Did Slime do that? I'll tell you, I'm against that straight up. But if Slime did it, Slime did it. Nothing I can do about it now. Kidding me? A bunch of people just narking on how much I make? Let me do the XQC. Let me make a few mil and no one bats an eye about it instead of being transparent, then getting shit for being transparent. Fuck all these guys, on God. The point is, I did pay all of the mods about 167,000. Basically, every mod got about 8 to 10,000. And then I gave Slime 10K. I gave him 5K for each day he took over because he took over 2 days. So I thought it only made sense. But the mods, they did a lot because they entertained the stream during the night. And I think I paid them pretty handsomely. It is the highest paid mods ever, I assume. I know some people pay mods. What's his name does, I think. Co-Carnage? I think he pays his mods. I can't imagine how much. I like just genuinely have no idea. What does Ludwig get to keep? Ludwig said early on, I'll be donating $1 to charity for every sub I gain. This turned out to be over $360,000 donated. Including at the end of the stream where he donated $5 per sub. This cost him around 52K gifted. Of course, taxes exists, and it's 12.3 California state taxes, and then government takes about 40%. So how much does that leave for me? This is how much money was spent by chat. So chat spent this much. Twitch takes money, which means I lose money, which is about 992,000. Twitch did make easy money. Easy $500,000. We have mods pay. This is the amount of money spent towards charity, which I think the final charity tally was 365,000, I believe. $200,000 for No Kid Hungry. $10,000 to Free Food UD, a smaller charity in Northwest US that gives money to people in need, and food, more specifically. 40K that I just let Slime pick. I let him pick a charity. I just trusted his judgment. And then 114,000 went to Humane Society and St. Jude together. So 57,000 for Humane Society, 57,000 for St. Jude, which means in total it was $365,350 for charity. And then you have taxes, which blow but have to be paid. But the cool thing about taxes is they're progressive. So, you know, if you make like, I think $8,000 or under, you don't pay taxes. If you make 8 to like 20, you pay like 13%, and then like 19, and then like 24%. And then it slowly goes up and up and up and up until you hit about 400,000. And then you pay the highest amount, which is 40%. I think it's like 39XXX or whatever. That's okay, because we're just going to use all the last tax bracket because it's just a month of the year. And there's 2 sets of taxes. It's taxes and then it's CA taxes, because California as a state takes 12.3% income tax. The last thing I have to calculate is how much money I spent, which I believe was about 50K. in gifted subs because I gifted myself a bunch of subs, and that's calculated in here. I got the money for it, but I also spent $5 for every sub. And then this is how much money I get. I think that's just mine. So we start with this. We have Jeff Bezos take a cut. We have me paying the mods, me paying this amount of money to charity, which leaves us with this. Another $50K off because I gifted a bunch of subs, which I can write off, so it's pre-taxes. Then I have taxes for federal and then state. And that's the money from the subathon, excluding ads. But I said this pretty early on. I think I said it a week in. We made our week recap. This is how much money I make at the end of it, but it pales in comparison to the value of the rest of the subathon. You know, like, I'm not gonna lie, after the subathon, a bunch of people came out the woodwork after dono-walling me for months to work together. I think they're like, wait, maybe he's not just a Humegalol who plays Jump King and Pokemon all day. Not Shroud, like companies. Companies reaching out for sponsors, publicity, all those things I think are worth more than this amount of money. Bidet companies, I will say, that ass though, it's coming. It's coming. But that's the total amount of money. That's the total amount of money I made from a month of streaming. And I could have made more if I had not done charity or not paid mods, but I think it's fine. I think it's a lot of money. You want to know what's crazy to contextualize it though? But that might be like straight up 2 Mr. Beast videos. It also is 5 years with a normal 9-to-5 job out of college, which is crazy too. I will say the one thing is don't feel bad. I've made a few of these videos and I talked about the money mostly just to be transparent because I saw a few people were working on a project and I thought I'd give it some attention because I feel some guilt making money. I don't know why I do, but I think I just do. I think just because wealth inequality is a problem. I don't want to like flaunt wealth, but I also think being open about it and how I'm spending it is like a good way for me to cope with it and feel better about it. But don't feel bad if you have to work 5 years to make that amount of money. There's always someone higher up. You can always make yourself feel bad if you think for a moment about Jeff Bezos and how it would take me 15,000 years straight of doing a subathon to reach his amount of money. And that's assuming I pay $0 in taxes and $0 on charity or anything else. There's a lot of ways to make yourself feel bad. I think wealth inequality is a problem. It is crazy how much streamers make. It makes sense, honestly, if you think for the amount of viewers XQC pulls in monthly, that he makes that much money monthly. If you're able to get 100,000 eyes on you, if he could do that same thing on TV, he'd make even more money. So that is the final tally. That's how much I do take away with the subathon. And that is, again, not including ads. That's not including sponsors. That's not including YouTube. It's not including a lot of other things. That's just from the amount of money people gave me from the subathon that I walk away with. Anyway, that's it. And they do want me to read this. They're all shamelessly plugging themselves. Okay, I started this as a way to the Reddit recap, but it kept going. Thanks for the time. Spent the last 30 days doing. Thanks for the content, not scamming. I spent every day at lunch at school doing this. Yada, yada. Shameless plug. I stream too. Drop a Prime Kappa. Want to say thanks for doing the subathon for all the friends I made and had hella fun along the way. Met these other guys and a bunch of other people. And then you still use AOL. OG Sheeper. When Bad Dog asked for people to help him on the spreadsheet, I responded saying I could help, but only for a day. Turned out it'd be a little different. I ended up helping all the way through to the end, and I loved it. Thanks for doing the subathon. It was great, and people hate chat. I also streamed, by the way. And then Dan said, the subathon came around during a tough period of my life, and I'm glad to have been a part of this when I needed it as a distraction. This group worked hard to keep tabs on the event, and they're all great guys. It's cool to leave our mark on this historic event, and I'm happy we received so much support from everyone. And that wraps it up. That wraps up the subathon as a whole as well. The subathon is now dead. It's already dead, but in terms of talking about it, we move on to different horizons. That's a wrap. $202K from the viewers to take away. $365,000 to charity. $177,000 to mods and slime. What am I going to buy? Nothing. I have no plans to buy anything. Oh, actually I do. I do have a secret thing I'm going to buy, but I can't tell you about it yet. I will say I will show it off on YouTube soon. Not on stream. No, it's not a Tesla. A Tesla car's bed? Imagine. Electric car's bed? Imagine.